Let me read you an excerpt of a letter from a Chinese diplomat. It was China's Consul General in New York, sent a letter last month to the Speaker of one of your state legislatures. Here's what the letter said in part. It said, quote, "As we all know, Taiwan is part of China. Avoid engaging in any official contact with Taiwan."
The letter urged the state legislature not to congratulate Tsai Ing-wen, who at the time had been just re-elected as President of the Republic of China, known as Taiwan.
Think about that. You add a diplomat from China assigned here to the United States, a representative of the Chinese Communist Party in the New York City, sending an official letter urging that an American elected official shouldn't exercise his right to freedom of speech.
In a speech at a governor's conference in February, Pompeo said the Houston Chinese consulate also sent a letter to a former Mississippi governor last year. The letter threatened to cancel Chinese investment if he chose to travel to Taiwan. He said efforts like this are happening all across the country and not just by Chinese diplomats. He added that Beijing's Overseas Influence Agency played a role as well. Pompeo pointed to a U.S.-China Governors Summit last year, marketed as an opportunity to boost economic collaboration.
It was an event co-hosted by the National Governors Association and something called the Chinese People's Association for Friendship and Foreign Countries. Sounds pretty harmless. What the invitation did not say is that the group I just mentioned, is the public face of the Chinese Communist Party's official foreign influence agency, the United Front Work Department.
In 2018, a congressional commission published a 40-page report about China's United Front Department and its operations. It says, quote, "The United Front strategy uses a range of methods to influence overseas Chinese communities, foreign governments, and other actors to take actions or adopt positions supportive of Beijing's preferred policies," end quote.
It's essentially political warfare / intelligence operations designed to promote the Communist Party of China's strategic objectives.
Many U.S. states have close trade and investment relationships with China. Take New York, for example. It's one of the top destinations for Chinese investment, and China was the state's second largest trade partner last year. Based on ties like these, the Chinese regime's influence agency and local proxies, including pro-Beijing Chinese American organizations, seek to cultivate relations with local politicians to expand Beijing's clout and foster positive views of the regime. According to former CIA analyst and Chinese espionage expert Peter Mattis, by participating in United Front-sponsored events, American politicians have unwittingly helped reinforce the image of the Communist Party's strength.
What has been the harm of this? One of the biggest ones is that Western politicians have become symbols for the party.
In June 2019, the New York State Senate passed a resolution naming October 1st of that year the state's China Day. October 1st, 1949 was the day communists took over China. Many Chinese people considered an annual day of mourning instead of celebration. Less than 4 months later, on the proclaimed China Day, thousands of Hong Kongers took to the streets to protest. Police fired tear gas, and one protester was shot by a live round. It happened at the same time the Chinese regime was celebrating its 70-year founding anniversary in Beijing. Besides relationship building, the Chinese regime has also systematically analyzed American politicians. Last year, a Beijing-backed think tank produced a report assessing all 50 U.S. governors' stance on China. Each of them was labeled either friendly, hardline, or ambiguous.
Whether you're viewed by the CCP as friendly or hardline, know that it's working you. Know that it's working the team around you.
Pompeo explained that people can still do business with China, but he urged local leaders to be vigilant against the regime's influence efforts, as it has methodically analyzed America's system and learned to take advantage of its openness.